Hi, I'm Debbie Lyons-Blythe and I'm a cattle rancher. Welcome to Blythe Family Farms. We're located in the Flint Hills of Kansas, which is kind of the eastern part of Kansas. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. We are a cow-calf ranch, which means we raise the babies. We raise the calves that are going on to produce beef for you all to eat in the grocery store and restaurants. So that's what our job is. I work with my family. My kids are all grown and are a big part of Blythe Family Farms. And I have been being a cattle rancher most of my entire life. I moved to Kansas when I was pretty young and started cattle ranching at that time. So I love it. It's an awesome way to live. I'm looking forward to telling you about our ranch. One of the first questions that everybody asks is, how many baby calves do you have? So let's check out these baby calves. Their mamas are waiting for their breakfast, but the baby calves are just hanging out, taking naps, checking everything out. And in this group of baby calves, we have about 120, but all total this year, we will have 300 babies. These calves are anywhere from 2 months old to 1 week old. The cow will have her calf out in the grass, and really we don't have to do much to take care of them. They can handle it. Mother Nature knows what to do, and we just make sure that they are healthy and that they don't need any help for any reason. These little babies are doing spectacularly. They are really good, healthy calves and are doing really, really well these days. Growing up fast, to be very honest. They like to take naps. That's what their day is all about. Taking naps, running and playing with their friends, and hanging out, eating whenever they feel like it, finding mama and getting a drink of milk whenever they feel like it. You can see there's my four-wheeler and Rue the cow dog. I do not use horses on our ranch. We are working to train our cows so that they will follow a pickup truck, and they will, so then we use four-wheelers to get around on our ranch, and a pickup truck. So here's some more baby calves. This is a little boy, or a bull calf. I can tell that quick and easy because he has a purple ear tag. On our ranch, oh, he's stretching. On our ranch, we put a purple ear tag in their ear that has a number on it, and it tells us who their mama is. Now, you know their mama can't read. How do you think that a mama cow tells who her baby is? Well, she can tell based on the sound of their voice and the way that they smell. So she licks them, of course, and puts her smell on them, and she can recognize their smell when they're in a big group. She can figure out which one is her baby calf just based on the smell. So coming up here is a little calf with a yellow ear tag, and you can see all the mamas have yellow ear tags. On our ranch, in order to keep track of all of the cows and also the baby calves, we use yellow and purple ear tags. So the females, or the heifers, get a yellow ear tag, and when they come and stay in our ranch as a mama cow, she will all have yellow ear tags. So that's kind of a record-keeping trick. So I get a lot of questions about being a cattle rancher and what I do, and honestly, people always ask me, what do you do all day, right? So every day is different. Today, I'm making a video for my friends to take a virtual field trip, but typically these days is about tagging baby calves, putting the ear tag in their ear, and making sure that they are healthy and feeding their mamas. So you'll see my son at some point run around on a tractor, and he's feeding the mama cows. What does a baby calf eat, and what does a mama cow eat? So baby calves, basically right now they just drink milk. They might eat a little bit of grass, but really their bellies aren't set up right now to get much nutrition out of grass. But a cow eats grass. Really, truly, most cows in America are grass-fed most of their life. It doesn't make sense for me to feed them corn or grain because that's expensive, and they can get all the nutrition that they need from grass. So right now, the grass is really not growing in Kansas. So what we're feeding them is the grass that we baled. We cut it when it was really nutritious last summer, and we baled it up in big round bales, and now we give them that as they need it. So that is what they get to eat every day. And soon they will be going out to pasture when the grass starts growing better. We take them out to a big grass-filled area, and then we don't have to feed them every single day. And that's really awesome. In Kansas, we have lots of absolutely amazing grass. This is a really special area called the Flint Hills, and that is, it used to stretch. It's a tall grass prairie. The grass actually can grow up to 8 feet tall. It's the tall grass prairie, and it used to go clear up to Canada and all the way down to Mexico. So a great big swath of the United States was tall grass prairie. But it didn't stay because it was a beautiful area, beautiful grass, beautiful area, but it grew crops really well. So it had really good soil. So farmers, when they came to America, started tearing up the grass. And I'm trying to keep the wind out of the microphone here for y'all. But they started tearing up the grass, so we didn't get to keep the grass very well. Well, guess what? In Kansas, the soil is really, really shallow, which means there's not a lot of good topsoil, and we have a lot of rocks. That's what Flint is. The Flint Hills of Kansas is very rocky. So when the farmers, back at the beginning of the United States, when the farmers tried to plow up the grass, it actually would pull up a lot of rocks. So it really wasn't very good crop ground to grow things. So they decided that it was better to leave it in grass. And then they saw that the buffalo that were living here and eating this grass are really fat and really healthy, that this grass is really nutritious. So then they said, hey, let's put cows on this grass and see how well they do. And it worked. It's beautiful grass for cows. It's absolutely excellent. Math question for you. In Kansas, one cow and calf needs 6.5 acres of grass to get enough food for a season. So if I have 300 cows, how many acres will it take to feed 300 cows and calves for a season? So my math problem would be 300 times 6.5. So we'll see if you can come up with that answer. An acre is about the size of a football field, so that gives you a little bit of a comparison, and it takes 6.5 football fields to feed a cow and a calf for a season. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is a little bit of biology maybe, or science, because a cow is really cool. I can't eat grass. Can you eat grass? You know, if I ate grass, it would hurt my stomach. I would not feel very good after I ate a bunch of grass. But a cow can eat grass because she has a special kind of a stomach. In fact, a cow has 4 stomachs, and the first one is called the rumen, and it's big. It's really huge. So when a cow chews up the grass and puts it, swallows it, and it goes down into her rumen, her first stomach, it then ferments in there. It's got a whole bunch of bacteria in there, and it's special bacteria that will break down the grass. So the stuff that's in grass is cellulose, and it's those really thick cell walls that then, if they can break that down, then they can get the nutrition out. Well, I don't have that kind of stomach, so I can't break that grass down. So then after it's kind of broken down a little bit in that first stomach, she'll actually burp and bring it back up as a little ball of food, and she'll chew it again, and that's called chewing their cud. I'm sure you've heard of that. And then they swallow it again, and it goes on through the next 3 stomachs, and we'll finally get, you know, all the nutrition out of it that way. But a cow is really, really special. So she can take things that we can't eat, like grass, and make it into amazing things that we can eat, like beef. And even dairy cows are the exact same way. They eat hay and grass and all that kind of good stuff and turn it into wonderful stuff, wonderful milk, wonderful beef that we can eat. So that's really important. The other thing I want to tell you about with the Flint Hills is that it is the same grass that was here when the pioneers came to the Flint Hills, when this land was made. We do not plant it. The farmers and ranchers are really important environmentalists. We have to take care of that grass. We have to take care of that grass and make sure that we manage it exactly right, but we don't plant it. We don't plow it. We do not do anything to it except we have to set fire to it. So every year in the spring, we set fire to the grass and burn off the old dead, real tall, old dead grass. For one thing, that has no nutrition in it. It's just extra food that they don't need, and we burn it off and it goes back into the ground as ash. Well, so the other thing that we have to do is make sure that we kill all of the trees. When the pioneers first came out here with their covered wagons, there was no trees, none whatsoever. So we try to make sure that we keep the prairie exactly like it was. And that is our goal. We manage it to make sure that the prairie is exactly like it was when the pioneers first came out here. And that means cutting the trees or burning them off. So I'll send you some pictures now. I'll show you some pictures of us burning the grass and how it looks after it's been burned. So this is a pasture that we have burned. It has about 120 acres. Remember, that's 120 football fields. That's how big it is. And we set fire to it and burned off all the old dead grass and any of the trees or brush, little shrubs that are growing up in there. So now it's only grass, and that is what we need. So originally, when the pioneers started burning the grass, they actually got the idea from the native Indians that were here. The Indians realized after the prairie caught fire accidentally during a lightning storm that the buffalo really liked the grass that regrew. So they would come to that grass and go eat that first. So the Indians realized they could use fire to encourage the buffalo to come to that area for their hunt. And then the Indians started setting fires themselves, and the buffalo were drawn to that area so that they could hunt them. After that, the pioneers saw that the Indians could utilize fire and it helped to take care of the grass, and they decided to start setting fires. So that is the history of how fire got utilized in the Flint Hills of Kansas. Healthy cows are the most important thing to us, and we love this land, and we are very lucky to be the caretakers of it, and we're very proud that we do a great job taking care of the land across the country. Listen, I just want to tell you one more thing. I've been talking to you about what we do on our cattle ranch. Every cattle ranch is different. Every rancher does things their own way because of their own reasons. So I live in the Flint Hills of Kansas, and we manage this area, a certain way. But even my neighbors who live just 5 miles from me might do things a little bit differently. So when I tell you how we do things, they might be a little bit different. And especially farmers and ranchers in other parts of the United States are really different. So people in South Dakota don't have as much summer and warm weather that I have. People in Colorado, cattle ranchers, have mountains to deal with. Cattle ranchers down in Georgia have a different kind of grass. They don't have this native grass. They actually have to plant grass for their cows. So everybody does things differently, and that is one of the strengths of America and American cattle ranchers. But I've been really lucky to get to have you guys here for a virtual field trip on my ranch, and I look forward to your questions. So give me all your questions. I look forward to answering them. Thanks again, And be sure to check out my blog for more information, kidscowsandgrass.com. Thank you. Bye.